Hey guys, I'm Nat.
And I'm Ashton.
And we are
the Nerds in Flannel.
Guys, welcome back to episode 22.
22!
My goodness.
2022 and on episode 20? I did not say that right.
No, it's
episode
okay.
2022 in 2022.
Yes.
Or no, episode 22 in frick.
Okay, no, episode 22.
Yeah. We're recording
guys.
this in 2022. That's what I meant to say.
Okay.
Boom.
Okay.
It's done.
Guys, we are close to the end of season 1 of Nerds in Flannel.
Already.
For context, every 25 episodes is going to be a season. Then we're going to take a little break and then just relax and then record more.
Yeah.
Because we love doing this. Special thanks to Caden Holder for making our new theme music.
Shout out Parker Beats.
That was good. Not gonna lie. I heard it. I'm like, that's it.
That's the one.
We had to do it. Ashley, what are we talking about today?
Well, Nat, today, after being well prepared for this episode,
very well prepared,
we are going to be talking about our favorites, just to preface, our favorite comic book movies of all time.
Yeah, so we did MCU movies of all time, but now this is comic books.
I think we touched on DC once before as well.
Yeah, but not really.
Episode.
That was just
kind of thrown in there.
Yeah, but now we're going to talk about comic book movies. So anything that was a comic book before a movie.
Yes.
And
we have one honorable mention.
Honorable mention, because we were talking about we had too many honorable mentions in the TV show one and the movie one, so we just thought we'd just like cut it down.
Yeah. So
it's a precise list, and there's no no overlap for us, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, there's a little bit of overlap, but we'll see. Actually, should we just hop into it?
I think we should.
Do you want to go first? Shall I go first?
Take it away, dude.
Okay. My honorable mention. This movie, I went to see it on opening day, and I was very excited for this movie because it's a sequel of a movie that I also loved, and that movie was Deadpool 2.
Ooh.
My honorable mention. So, I love the first Deadpool. I think it's really funny. I think it's fresh, just because of it's Deadpool. Let's be real. Everyone's been waiting for a Deadpool movie that does the character justice, unlike X-Men Origins Wolverine. And dude, this movie, it cranked up everything to 11 for this movie from the first movie, just because you have X-Force. Their jokes are a little more what's the word, raunchy. They can get away with a lot more than they could in the first movie, and I think this movie's a lot more emotional than the first movie, just because spoiler alert, Vanessa dies, which is Wade Wilson, Deadpool's girlfriend. Yeah, the boyfriend at that point. And I think it's a very cliched story with Deadpool tries to save a kid, because there's a father and son relationship there. But I think the supporting cast is the best part of this movie. Yeah, you have Josh Brolin as Cable, you have Zazie Beetz as Domino, and you have Dopinder. I forgot the actor's name, but Dopinder is pretty sick.
He's pretty sick.
And you just have like I said, the X-Force, Terry Crews, Bill Skarsgård. Dude, it's just a good cast.
It's solid.
It's a funny movie. It was. I think that's the movie I laughed the hardest in theaters.
Dang.
It also was a good theater experience because everyone in there was nerds like me, so we were just laughing a good bunch, especially during that X-Force scene when everyone dies. Yeah, no, it's a good movie. It's a fun movie to put on if you're just wanting to just watch a fun comic book movie, and that's my honorable mention.
Dang, good movie. Yeah. Love it.
Ashton.
Cool.
Your honorable mention.
My honorable mention might be a little controversial, but I'm willing to take the hit.
Okay.
Zack Snyder's Justice League. So, the reason I chose this one is I think he was onto something with sort of his creative vision. Something I really love about what different directors can bring to the table and different nerds is that they all have a different idea of what they want their heroes to end up being, or where they want to get their heroes from point A to point B.
Yeah.
And Zack Snyder had a very crazy vision of that. And he started developing it, trying to create the DC universe, extended universe, for Warner Bros. It didn't really flesh out that well, but I really love how this movie brought a huge fandom together to just kind of say to Warner Bros., hey, Joss Whedon sucked with his movie. Let's see the original vision, because we have faith that it's nothing could be as bad as what we just saw.
Yeah.
And just the way the community came together and pushed for that, it's great.
It was pretty good. I really enjoy it. It is 4 hours long.
It's 4 hours long, so it's probably the longest superhero movie in this list, or comic book movie, I should say. But it's pretty great. I enjoyed
well
it.
Done.
Very well done.
Yes.
And I think he should continue the vision, but it should be animated.
Yeah,
That's just my hot take.
I think like the reason Zack Snyder is like kind of controversial these days is because he tries to make things too dark.
Yeah.
There is a line like I hate the part where like, well, this is more Batman versus Superman, but like he like makes Batman kill, and that's not okay.
Crosses moral line.
Yeah. And Batman does not use guns. If those who don't know, he does not use guns because he's against guns, because guns is what turned his life around and made him into the man he is.
Yeah.
So that kind of just takes away a big moral part of Batman.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Let's go into the actual list.
Let's do it.
10-1.
Okay. And just to preface, these are our favorites.
Yes.
Doesn't mean that they're the best.
No.
We just like these.
Yes. Yes. Some of these are pretty controversial, I must say.
Yeah.
So speaking of Zack Snyder, my number 10 pick is a movie that came out with a lot of controversy.
Ooh.
And that is the Watchman.
Yo.
Also Zack Snyder. This movie is based on who wrote Watchmen? Alan Moore?
Alan Moore, yeah.
Alan Moore's Watchmen comic book, one of the most famous comic books of all time. And this is like a dark, bleak look at superheroes if they were to be in the real world. Now, it's weird because this movie, like, it took a while for this movie to get made. And when it finally came out, some people were like, oh, that's amazing. And some people were like, I hated it. And I'm kind of like in the middle line, but I'm kind of more to like, I loved it just because I think the characters are really good in Watchmen. But they're a little more fleshed out in the Watchmen HBO series, which we have talked about on this podcast. But this movie is very visually well done. It's very like in the same style of the 300, where they're slow-mo with like gorgeous shots. I love the times are changing by Bob Dylan at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
I think that's my favorite part of the movie. I love like when directors like put music into their scenes and it works perfectly with the scene.
Yeah.
Malin Ackerman, Patrick Wilson, Matthew Good. Cast is phenomenal. I forgot the guy who played Rorschach, but he's really good too.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Oh man, I love that movie just because it's different.
True.
But it is very dark, and there are a lot of problems with it, and unnecessary scenes that didn't really need to be in there.
Yep.
Ashley, you know what I'm talking about.
Yep. Extended cut.
Yeah, extended cut. Yeah, and it's really hard for people to watch. I would say it's not for everyone. If you have not read the comic, maybe skip out of this one. There's some pretty if superheroes were in the real world, I'm pretty sure this would happen.
For sure.
So, viewer discretion is advised. Ashton, number 10 for you.
Okay, number 10. Again, this one might be controversial. Starting out the list with this one as the last place. Ooh, I can't wait to hear it. Avengers Endgame.
Number 10?
That is my number 10.
Actually, you know what? I was thinking about that.
Okay. I wasn't the only one. Dang. So, I love this movie. The whole idea of having 10 years worth of comic book movies build up to this movie and have this movie be so good. It's awesome, bro. What is there to say that hasn't been said about Endgame, really?
Yeah.
It's the culmination of phase 1, 2, and 3. I guess technically Far From Home closed off phase 3, I think. But that was more of an epilogue. But yeah, with Endgame being sort of like in like the last of like this big one and the last movie with all these big actors, it did such a good job, dude. Iron Man sacrifice, the whole time travel thing. It just opened up the multiverse more, and just being able to see all of our favorite heroes on screen at the same time, and like the ending scene and everything. It blew me away. I remember in theaters even seeing like the Thor hammer, or like Thor's hammer. I'm not gonna try to pronounce its name. Fly towards Captain America and him get Thanos with those combos, dude.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Jeez, I love that movie so much. It will always be the definition of a comic book movie for me.
Yeah.
It did such a good job with it. But yeah, that's gonna be my number 10.
Spoiler. This movie is not on my list, but because I thought I'd keep it off just because it's Endgame. It's obviously one of the best.
Yeah.
But I did keep it off my list because I wanted to put other movies that I thought need more appreciation. Fair. So that's why I kept it off. But it is really good. Like, it's probably my best theater experience of all time.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Number 9. Number 9 is a comic book movie that I totally forgot was a comic book.
Okay.
At one point. This movie is directed by Matthew Vaughn. It is like an action-packed spy movie, and that is The Kingsman and the Secret Service.
Ooh.
The first Kingsman movie. So, dude, this movie's so good. Okay. It's like this really what's the word? Like energetic, flamboyant type of spy movie. Cast is amazing. Terry Anderson, Colin Firth, Mark Strong, Ralph Fiennes, Halle Berry's in it for a little bit. Samuel Jackson.
Yo.
Oh no, sorry. Halle Berry's in the second movie. Samuel Jackson plays the perfect villain. Dude, no, this movie is very, very it's a personal pick of mine because I saw this movie a few times in theaters, and I found it really refreshing because Marvel's formula, we talked about it a little bit. It's kind of there is a time where I get Marvel fatigue and DC fatigue, and when a movie like this comes along, this movie came in 2014, and it was just really refreshing to watch something like that. That's really fun, and that's what I want in most movies, just have fun. That's why Ashley and I go once a week to the theater and watch a movie just for fun.
Yeah.
The action scenes are probably the standout in this movie. You have the church scene, but underrated fight scene is the last fight with Taron Egerton's character fighting Sophia Bottella's character. I thought that was a really fun scene. And there's a lot of memorable moments in that movie. I don't have much to say about it. The sequel, The Golden Circle, is very fun, but I think it's too. What's the word? It's too much for its own good. It tries to have too much jokes in it. It's trying to be too flamboyant, and it's just not right. Then the third movie, The Kingsman, which is a prequel to everything, very good. I think it does not get the appreciation it deserves just because it came out during the pandemic and no one saw this movie. I actually watched this last week on Disney Plus. Watch it, it's good. Here you go, number 9, Kingsman, The Secret Service.
Okay, awesome. Well, my number 9.
Oh, sorry. If you guys hear people in the background, we're at our school in our little room recording. So yeah.
Oh, I mean,
it's fairly good in here.
It's fairly soundproof in here.
Yeah.
Honestly, this might be the best acoustics we've had.
Yeah. Well, guess we'll find out when we listen.
Find out. Oh, all right. Boy.
Ashton, sorry, number 9.
Yeah, cool. No, it's good. Number 9 for me is a movie that we just saw recently. We did a whole episode about
I know
it.
What this is.
It is The Batman.
Oh.
Robert Pattinson, dude.
Robbie P.
Dude, I love this movie. I think I said in the podcast episode we did about it, go listen to that episode. It's great. We go more in depth there.
Yeah.
I love this movie a lot because it shows more of the investigator side of Batman. And it's really hard to get all of Batman's different sides since he's such a dynamic character. But this one doesn't try to capture as many as you've seen in other movies. It just focuses in on this one part of Batman and does a great job at it.
Sure does.
So it's the investigator side. And dude, it's phenomenal. It's everything I'd want this movie to be. Just everything that goes down with the Riddler, and that was an amazing performance too as well. Catwoman, even Alfred, dude, such a great movie. I'm not going to talk as much about this because I want y'all to go listen to that previous episode we did.
Yes, please. Episode 19.
Episode 19. There we go. But yeah, great movie. Highly recommend. And I know some people weren't as happy with this one, but screw off.
Do you know what? If you don't like it, understandable.
Yeah.
I know, we're not mad.
We understand. It's not for everybody, but I think a big part of why people don't like this movie is because they compare it to like the Dark Knight and stuff.
And to me, that's unfair.
It's unfair. Like, don't do that. Just appreciate this movie for what it is and what it gives you.
Two very different movies.
It's not trying to be like a Marvel movie either. No. So it's allowed to be a lot more darker, not as humorous. It actually benefits from that, I would say.
Yeah.
And if that's not your style of movie, then that's fine. Just go watch something else. Go watch Endgame for the 15th time.
Yeah, my goodness. Number 8, actually, for me. It's a comic book movie that not a lot of people watched. Okay. But has gained a cult following in the last few years because it's action-packed, it's fun, it's gory, it's different. And that is Dredd.
Ooh, okay.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's based off the comic book Judge Dredd, which also had like a 1990 release with Sandra Bullock and Sylvester Stallone, but that wasn't very good because it was way too campy. Dredd is a very nitty-gritty comic book movie about cops in like a dystopia, and they act as judge, jury, and executioner, which I think is a really like subtle commentary on like police brutality, and I think it works really well. We have Carl Urban, who plays the titular character Judge Dredd. If you don't know him, he's from Star Trek, The Boys. He's also a voice actor for things. Olivia Thirlby, who plays Judge Anderson, his sidekick, and Lena Headey, and she was the main villain as Mom, whatever her name. And this movie is very, what's the word? It's very good, just because the characters work so well off each other, and like the relationship between Dredd and Anderson, probably the best in the movie. And man, I say and a lot. Don't I? I feel like I do. Anyways, but the best part about this movie is the action. They have these special guns that have like different like ammo in it, and they can switch off like on the fly, and people's heads are exploding, and like the bullets pierce the walls, and it's crazy. And I love this movie for so many reasons, but like it's not for everyone.
Yeah,
it's very. Have you seen it? Right? Have you seen it?
I haven't, but okay. I've heard the controversy. I want to check it out though. It's on my watch list.
Well, I'll do my Blu-ray.
Dope.
Yeah. Dredd came out in 2012. Good movie. It's just fun. All right, Ashton, number 8 for you, man.
Awesome. Number 8 for me is going to be one of my favorite Marvel movies of all time. Going back to Marvel here. Great political drama. That's right. It is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Bro, this is a movie you could show to anyone who's into action movies, not necessarily like comic book sci-fi, but like just action movies in general, or just, again, political thrillers, because it does such a good job of showing sort of like this whole evil organization hiding in the shadows sort of idea. And then, of course, you have Captain America, and he just comes and kicks some butt. It's a great movie. I think it's one of my favorite Marvel movies of all time. It does a great job as well, showing a lot of complexity on screen. Like in the comics, a lot of what they've adapted for this movie spans throughout multiple different comics. And the way that they're able to encapsulate that into a movie, that like one singular movie, rather than like a two-parter, just a singular one, and show all this drama, as well as focus in on characters like the Winter Soldier, Black Widow, even Nick Fury, and of course Cap, and introduce Falcon as well.
Yeah.
Anthony Mackie, hello. And also like introduce that people like Doctor Strange as well. Like he wasn't actually in the movie, but they mentioned him, and people were like, "Oh, it's coming!" And 2 years later, we got that.
And you know what? Actually, sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah, no, it's good.
They mentioned, I forgot how they. Oh, it was like something in Cairo. They mentioned Moon Knight.
Oh yeah. And
there's no coincidence that that's the thing. Now the Moon Knight is a Disney Plus series coming out very soon. Very excited.
Yeah.
So I should go ahead.
No,
sorry.
It's good. Yeah, honestly, one of the best comic book movies of all time. I think a lot of people would agree with that one as well. That one's not really a hot take. Yeah, awesome movie. It's good. It's good.
Okay, my number 7, an indie movie. Again, no one really saw this movie. Animated movie. I'm just kidding. It's totally not underrated and not no one. Everyone's seen this movie. That is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. At number 7. I'm a sucker for comic book art style, and this movie gives me everything I wanted. Comedy, heart, action, sick like montages and stuff.
Yeah, dude.
I think, like I said, in a lot of like why I love movies is the dynamics between characters, and dude, the dynamic between Peter B. Parker was by Jake Johnson, and Miles Morales played by Shakir Moore or Sharik. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but those two, their characters work so well. I mean, it's like a good cop, bad cop, everything, buddy cop type of movie, and the supporting cast we have Spider-Gwen, Spider-Ham, Spider-Noir, Spider. I forgot her technical name.
Like the anime one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget. Petra Parker?
Petra? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
No, but like, this movie, the best part of this movie is the animation style and the humor. It is one of the funniest comic book movies I've seen.
Yeah.
And it does this comedy very subtly. It was directed by
Christopher Miller, or
Chris Miller and his
Chris
brother
Miller and
the other guy, the other Miller.
Yeah.
And they make some good stuff. Phil Lord, yeah. They're really good.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen much about this movie. Everyone's seen this movie.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, next one.
Cool.
Good movie. Go watch it if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So my next one is at number 7. We have The Dark Knight.
Ooh.
What is there again? Like, what is there to say that hasn't been said about this one? Incredible movie. Heath Ledger, bro. R.I.P. I really, honestly, I can't decide if it's better that he only got one chance to play the Joker, or if I would have wanted to see him in more. Because the more I watch that movie, the more I just fall in love with that movie and his Joker. But also, I kind of wonder what it would have been like for him to be in a future appearance. He was supposed to be in The Dark Knight Rises, and then obviously Heath Ledger tragically passed away. But yeah, man, I just love this movie a lot. The way it kind of shows anarchy versus like justice, and of course it's a Christopher Nolan movie, so there's a lot of his style and his underlying meaning in this movie as well. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't really think I can say anything else. We've talked about this movie a lot on this pod, actually. Christian Bale as Batman again, just awesome. Go watch it if you haven't. And if you have, then watch it again. Treat yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My number 6 is also The Dark Knight.
Hey.
Dude, Ashton stole everything, man.
Dang, bro.
Dude, Ashton hit every point. I don't think I have to say much. It's The Dark Knight at number 6. The reason why I love this movie is just it keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
It always feels like there's a ticking time bomb. Because especially at the end with the boat scenes, and it's just pure chaos. And it's this guy, not a superhero. It's just this guy trying to figure out what to do in so little time, while like he's emotionally, psychologically, and physically like drained at the end of the movie. The Dark Knight, man, it's so good.
It's so good.
Oh, and one thing I want to talk about is the practical effects when they flip that bus for real. That truck, the truck, and the hospital explosions. That's why it's so high on our list, man.
It's awesome, dude.
Number 6. Yeah, so now you're number 6.
My number 6, another movie that came out fairly recently. One of my favorite Marvel movies of all time. I like how I've had this pattern of like Marvel and then DC. Marvel.
Yeah, I know.
It ends here though. My next favorite movie though at number 6 is Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Oh my
This is the ultimate Spider-Man movie, dude. I mean, as far as live action goes, I'll say. I love how this movie could have even worked without the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield appearance, just because of what they were doing with Tom Holland's Peter Parker. We did a whole episode on this one as well, episode number 1.
Yeah, first episode. First official episode.
First official episode. Man, we just re-listened to some of that stuff and it was cringy.
Yeah,
it's great. It's
our
good.
bad.
It's our bad. Sorry, but I mean, hey, go listen to it because I think the points we're trying to get across are still relevant. Yeah, awesome movie. Just this being the conclusion to Tom's first trilogy and just sort of his origin story, instead of them trying to rush his origin story in like a 40-minute window. Being able to just break it down into 3 movies was a really good choice, and this is the conclusion we needed. Aunt May's death and her being like the new Uncle Ben, just a wild concept that like I wouldn't have even thought of.
It took 3 movies to get his origin story.
Yeah, and this movie does a great job.
Dude, that's wild, man.
It's awesome. I love this movie a lot, and yeah, that's gonna be my number 6. And also, just gonna mention it. If you haven't watched it yet, you can buy it now, like on digital.
This is true.
And like my brother pre-ordered this for like the 4K Blu-ray release, and I think that's coming out just in a couple weeks as well. I'm so hyped for the behind the scenes too. That's gonna be
my favorite part.
But yeah, so that's my number 6. Awesome writing, awesome music, awesome actors, great movie.
Yeah, dude. Now we're into a top 5.
Top 5.
Top 5, man. My number 5. There's another Spider-Man movie.
Okay.
Spider-Man 2.
Ooh.
Tobey Maguire, Alfred Molina.
I almost put this on the list, dude.
Oh no, dude! I love this movie. This is until another Spider-Man movie came out. This was my favorite Spider-Man movie of all time. People have talked a lot about this movie, but it's just the pacing's so good.
Yeah.
And I just love the fact that Peter Parker gets the crap beat out of him in this movie. It's like real life. He gets so emotionally drained and physically drained that he can't shoot webs anymore. He physically can, and they talk about that in a Spider-Man movie that I will talk about later. Dude, Alfred Molina as Doc Ock kills it. I specifically love him before he becomes Doc Ock. With his wife, him and Peter are sitting at the table and just talking about science and physics and his project. That's probably my favorite scene in the movie, because there's foreshadowing in it. It's like, honey, this boy thinks I'm gonna blow up the sea or blow up the city or something like that. I can't remember what he says, but so really, really good. The train scene, very inspirational, probably the most iconic scene in the movie. You have to get through us, type of thing. Dang, really good movie.
So good, dude. So good.
Okay, number 5, Ashton. Let's go.
Number 5 for me. This is my favorite MCU movie of all time. So this ends MCU movies on my list after this one.
I know what it is.
Number 5 for me is Iron Man, the original, the very first. Dude, before the MCU was bought by Disney, they could get away with so much crap.
This movie would not be made today.
You could not make this movie today.
No, it's not PC anymore.
I think that's not necessarily what I like about it. What I like about it is
he likes it because it's controversial.
It's so controversial. I love the storytelling in this movie. The way that it kind of starts off with the whole like terrorist attack scene, and then it kind of like rewinds back to before that, and the character arc Tony goes through in this movie, where he's just like this really big jerk, this billionaire jerk, typical billionaire, cocky dude, and he ends up just having this awesome arc where he goes from that to hero, and then in the future movies you still see him try to navigate that aspect as well. But yeah, I would put this as my favorite MCU movie because it does such a good job showcasing sort of like the hero's journey. Also, the practical effects in this movie are on a whole different level.
Yes.
The way that they went about putting on the costume and everything on RDJ. After this movie, they just scaled it down, and honestly, I think the practical effects look way better than the CGI.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Even like comparing his suit from this movie to Endgame, I will always take the first Iron Man suits over.
It feels so real, man.
It feels so real. And Endgame, they really just molded it over his body. He didn't have any bulk.
No.
Whereas like for his suit, like you kind of need that. And I appreciate that about this movie.
All right.
Cool. Number 4.
Guess I'm going number 4 for me. Dude, Ash is stealing all my movies, man. Number 4 is The Batman.
The Batman.
So I had some time to think. In the last couple of weeks that we've seen The Batman. And I think it's my favorite Batman movie. I've been thinking about it a lot. I think I'd have to watch it one more time to actually know. But in my mind, it's my favorite.
So Tuesday.
Might have to.
I
know this movie does everything so well. Like Ashton said, I've been waiting for a Detective Batman because that's what it is. It's legit. It was a Detective Comics Batman, not Batman the Detective Comics.
Yeah.
I think the reason why I like this movie is because, like I said, it's been something we've been waiting for, and it's something different as well. This is more of a psychological movie than a superhero movie to me. You can take out the word. They use the word Batman once.
Yeah.
And I think it works really well because it feels real. It feels grounded. It feels like this city has been lived in, and these people have been living through hell. And this is the best. Okay, hot take. This is the best looking superhero movie ever made.
Ooh.
It is the best shot cinematography wise.
Yeah.
My favorite shot in the movie. I think you guys know what it is if you've seen it.
Yep.
It's when he lights that flare and it's in the freaking water, and all you see is the trail of the flare and the people following him. And in that moment, he's not vengeance anymore, because in the beginning of the movie, he's vengeance. He's like, I'm vengeance. But at the end of the movie, he's like, I'm hope. People need hope in this city and not vengeance, because the only reason why he was Batman because he was fighting against people who he thought were bad. But when he finds out that his dad, his family, they're all corrupt, then he fights for hope because that he knows why he's fighting and being who he is. And that's the beauty of that movie. Matt Reeves did a beautiful job directing, and Robert Pattinson did an amazing job as Batman.
Agreed.
Oh man.
Also, that shot of when he's on the ceiling and then just drops down and takes those dudes out.
Oh yeah.
That was all practical effects too. That's so impressive, bro.
That.
I love that. Such a great shot.
And it's a lot funnier than I expected it to be. Yeah, it has some pretty good humor.
Yeah.
With the thumb drive. Damn.
Ironic humor. I love it.
All right, number 4, Ashton.
My number 4. Nat stole this one from me.
Oh,
Rare case of Nat stealing it, not me.
Yeah.
Number 4 for me is going to be Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Fair enough.
Dude, this movie, I remember, I just came back from this, trip. From on the other side of the country, pretty much. Came back, was looking for a movie to go watch with my siblings before I flew back out there. And this one was the one in theaters. Usually I would have been keeping up with comic book movies, and I was excited for this one, but I kind of forgot about it. Usually I would have been keeping up, but long story short, it just wasn't a big priority in my mind at this point in my life. Went to see this, and it blew me away. It got me right back into the comic book genre again. I was so hyped for this movie. I think we went home and we got the pre-order for the Blu-ray right after that. Dude, it's so good. Nat already touched on it, but the art style, and just even the voice acting, the way it adapts so much from the comics, and yet also brings a new original twist to the story. Mm-hmm. It's so well done. I thought it was so funny having Chris Pine as Peter Parker at first, and he's the celebrity on top of the world, Peter Parker. And then he dies right away, and then that's how you get Miles Morales coming in. And dude, I was so hyped to finally see Miles Morales get the justice he deserves, because we were getting him in TV shows and stuff, anime TV shows. But finally, holy crap! It took this long to get him in a movie. I just can't wait for the day we get him in live action at this point.
Very soon.
He's such an awesome character, bro. He's so different from Peter Parker, but they have they have a lot of similarities too in their beliefs. and that's kind of what makes them Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone can wear the mask. That's the whole point of this movie. And it does such a great job showing that. Also,
that's why I'm Spider-Man. I have a Spider-Man costume.
Exactly.
I'm Spider-Man.
It's so good. It was such a revolutionary movie. Even Stan Lee said, like, the best thing that they did for Spider-Man was cover his entire body so anyone could see themselves in that costume.
Mm-hmm.
And for them to bring in, like, a black Spider-Man and then also, like, Spider-Gwen, a female Spider-Man, just so awesome, dude. Nick Cage's Spider-Man Noir is also just low-key one of the best parts of the movie.
Like a turd in the wind. Wait, no, that's Venom.
So, sometimes I let the candle burn down to my fingertips so I can feel something.
That's what it is.
I love it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And again, like the humor in this movie, everything's so on point. Jake Johnson's Peter Parker as well, so good. And the way it also just mocks some of the other Spider-Man movies, especially Spider-Man 3. I love it. This is like probably my favorite animated version of Spider-Man, like a Spider-Man movie.
Mm-hmm.
Might be my favorite Spider-Man movie. I'm not sure yet. Might be.
Okay.
It's so hard after No Way Home and everything.
I know, bro.
And Spider-Man 2 as well. But yeah, we
love Spider-Man.
This is such a good one. We love Spider-Man. Yeah, that's my number 4.
Okay, now we're in the top 3. Ashton, I'm gonna cheat a little bit.
Okay.
So my number 3 is Spider-Man No Way Home. But we have talked about that movie a lot on this podcast.
Yeah.
So, Ashton, I'm gonna change it.
Okay.
I'm gonna change my number 3. It is also an MCU film. I love this movie for a lot of reasons. I love this movie because the character development is probably the best in the MCU. It probably has the best soundtrack in the MCU, and it's probably
Black Panther.
No, it's not Black Panther. It's probably the funniest movie in the MCU, and that movie is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Again, I know I'm cheating, but we just talk about Spider-Man No Way Home a lot, so I change it up a little bit. But okay, so Spider-Man No Way Home is my number 3, but I just want to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 because I feel like no one talks about it. This movie is so emotional. The character development between Gamora and Nebula is probably the best relationship built out from the MCU. Hot take, I know. Rocket Raccoon also has an emotional arc between him and Yondu, but then Yondu dies, and then he's like to Peter, "You'll always be my he may have been your son. I mean, he may have been your father, but I'm your daddy." And I love that line.
I love it.
It's so very much. True. No, if you with the context of that movie, works perfectly well. The soundtrack that James Gunn puts into Fleetwood Mac. You have Cat Stevens. Dude,
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. I laughed so hard in that movie. Oh, I love that movie. Yeah, I know I cheated in the list a little bit, but it's our podcast. If you don't like it, don't listen. I mean, no, sorry. We want you to listen. Listen, but suck.
Yeah.
Ashton, number 3 for you, man.
All right, number 3 for me. Not really overlap because this one wasn't officially mentioned, but the sequel was. My 3rd favorite comic book movie of all time is Deadpool. Bro, I laughed so hard in this movie. Holy crap. Man, Ryan Reynolds just nailed it. Again, it's another redemption arc, like a real life redemption arc. It's proof that he can play a really good comic book character. He was not really good with Green Lantern.
No.
He was not good with X-Men Origins, but that was also because of what the studio wanted.
That wasn't his fault.
It wasn't his fault. So by them being able to make this movie and this super beloved character now out of sort of this accidental studio leak.
Get wrecked.
Wrecked. It's so good. I love it. And the fourth wall breaking. It's totally different for a comic book movie. To see kind of that side. I really hope She-Hulk does that because she does that a lot in the comics. Yeah. She breaks the fourth wall. And I think, does Squirrel Girl do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, I want a Squirrel Girl movie, man.
Squirrel Girl, can we get her to team up with Deadpool?
Oh my gosh, that's gonna have to be rated R, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh my gosh.
They're already I think they're looking to get is it Sean Levy? I forget. The director that Ryan's been working with a lot with Free Guy and the Addams Project.
Yeah.
To come on board for Deadpool 3. So
yeah,
that's gonna be pretty dope if that happens. Yeah. Great movie. Just everything from the plot to sort of the way that they shot the film as well. They didn't have the biggest budget for this, and they made it work to their advantage, and it was just awesome. Deadpool's costume with the moving eyes was so good. Really paved the way even for Spider-Man to do that. Loved it. So Deadpool's my number 3.
Okay, Ashton, we talked about it. We have to say number 2.
Yep.
And Ashton, why don't you tell the lovely folks what number 2 is for us?
I hurt myself today.
It's Logan.
It's Logan.
It's Logan. Oh my gosh. Okay, what to say about this movie? Like, so this is what it feels like. Get it? Because it's the Cloverfield movie. So this is what it feels like to get a perfect conclusion to a superhero.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Hugh Jackman kills it. Patrick Stewart kills it. Daphne King kills it. Everyone kills it. I don't think there's a bad performance in this movie. Just because. Oh my gosh, is Adam coming in?
Hey, Adam! Adam, come on the pod.
Yeah, come on the pod. Cass, come in the pod.
No thanks.
Whoa! Just interrupting without saying hello.
Yeah, you can't interrupt without saying hello.
Says nerd and flannel in progress.
Yes.
Recording.
Yes, now the good thing.
I'm not wearing a flannel though.
You should.
I'm not either.
We talk about it. Cass, come talk. Come talk.
What's the topic today?
Our favorite comic book. What's your favorite comic book movie?
Comic book movie?
Comic book movie.
Comic book movie?
Yeah.
Like, give me an example.
Like, so.
Superhero movie?
No, not superhero. Comic book. So it can
Anything
be superheroes. Anything
based
based off a comic book.
Yes.
On the spot. You guys are
On the
interrupting.
spot.
It's too late now. Well, Adam.
I'm so sorry, guys.
No, Adam did.
I can't think of any, man. I don't read comics.
I have only read the X-Men comics, but some of the X-Men movies are not my favorite. So...
They're no one's favorite.
Yeah.
I used to read those Archie comics.
Yeah.
Riverdale?
Adam loves Riverdale. I
I watch Riverdale, man. I've never actually seen it.
Neither have I. I definitely haven't watched Riverdale.
Definitely
Fake
have
news.
not.
No, Kaylin.
Fan.
Kaylin. What's your favorite comic book movie? What's your favorite comic book movie?
Spider-Man.
Which one?
Spider-Man.
Okay.
Yeah, so our friends are
The second
here.
one.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's pretty good.
Spider-Man 2? I talked about Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man No Way Home.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Are we talking about like based on a comic?
Yeah, based on
like,
a comic
like an
book.
actual like it's going through the
Like-
entire story.
Based on a comic book.
Like the characters are like from the,
I really like Flashpoint. I don't know if that counts.
Like
the animated movie?
That was really good.
That
yeah,
one was good.
That's a
Yeah.
comic book movie.
Oh dang, I should have thought of that one for this list.
Yeah.
Another honorable mention right there.
They're all mentioned. Welcome to the pod, guys. Our friends are just, we're...
This is what happens when we record at school.
Yeah. Well, Clarissa, welcome to the pod. Say hello.
Hi.
Everyone's on the pod now.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
We're live.
We're recording. Okay, what
Why is my camera?
Sub to Van City Net.
No, so camera will be season 2. We're almost done season 1.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting
Sorry,
there.
we'll let you.
No. One more. Who's favorite? Clarissa, favorite comic book movie? Come closer and talk into the mic.
Comic book. I'm gonna have to say it's new, but it's Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi?
Shang-Chi.
Oh!
Okay.
I see you.
It's really good. I really like the martial arts, like the Asian martial arts.
Doesn't everyone? That was like
Yeah.
the fair part. Alright.
Thanks, you guys.
Yeah, dude, you guys should come on the podcast. Is already slated to come on the podcast
Yeah.
with another guest who we shall reveal sometime later.
It'll
Give it
happen,
up, sir.
guys.
It'll happen.
It'll happen.
It's gotta
It's
happen.
gotta
I
happen.
mean, quiche.
Alright, guys, thank you for stopping
Cool.
by our studio.
Yeah.
No problem.
Bye, guys.
Guys.
We love our friends, man.
Yeah, dude.
Anyways, Logan.
Logan.
No, Logan is my second favorite comic book movie, and Ashton's second favorite comic book movie. For me, it's because it's a story about, it's a very like cliche story about father and child, but it works so well because this is a Wolverine that we've never seen before.
Yeah.
This is a Wolverine whose healing ability is no longer really working. And we are used to seeing this Wolverine that's like invincible and like he can take like a whole tank shell to the gut and be okay. But
Or nuclear bomb.
or nuclear bomb, yeah. But no, he can't even get his like claws out. Like he has to like pull out his claws and I think that's just like a beautiful way to end it.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert: he dies, but in a very poetic way. And I saw this movie, and I cried. Oh yeah, this was another movie I cried in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now I will not reveal the last movie that I cried in. No one's gonna know.
Dang. It's okay. This one's fair to cry in,
Yeah.
for sure.
Ashton, what do you think about Logan?
Yeah. This movie, kind of what Nat already said, it's kind of the perfect ending for Hugh Jackman. When you have such an iconic actor playing a beloved character for so long, you need to send him off the right way if it's going to be his last. He even took a pay cut to get this one rated R. It was so good, dude. Man, every time I think about this movie, part of me is just like,
Am
I
I
gotta
ready to
watch
get
it
hurt
again. I gotta watch it again, but I also don't want to get hurt again. You know?
I hurt myself again.
Again? Yeah. I honestly think this was the best possible way to send him off. Adapting Old Man Logan, because let's be real, Old Man Logan and like the other Wolverine Logan that we've seen throughout the comics, they're almost different characters, because Old Man Logan's been through it a lot. He's been through a lot more. He's had a lot more experience. He actually, even in the comics, has had a lot more tragedy occur with like
All the X-Men are dead. All the X-Men
are dead. The Hulks rule like the world pretty much. It's crazy, and he was the one that pretty much killed them all too.
Mm-hmm.
With it, like he killed them, and he didn't know it was them, but he did, and he has to live with that pain and that guilt.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, this is just an awesome movie. I definitely don't think this is going to be taken off of number 2 for a while.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so
good. If you haven't seen it, watch it. But also, it's if you can't handle a lot of like gore and stuff, then maybe wait.
It's rated R for a reason.
It's rated R for a reason, but it kind of needed to be a Wolverine movie. It's like the ultimate Wolverine movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's number 2.
Actually, I think X-Men Wolverine is better. X-Men Origins Wolverine is so much better.
I'm about to dump some water on this nerd.
Number 1, Ashton. We're almost there. How
Dang, bro.
much time do we have? How much time are we in here?
We're at 47 minutes.
Oh, yo, that's perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, perfect timing. My favorite comic book movie of all time blew me away when I saw it. I do not think this movie is even my favorite movie of all time for a very long time. Until they make a Squirtle movie, it's gonna be my first.
Oh boy.
And that movie is Avengers Infinity War.
Oh, interesting.
So the reason why I like this better than Endgame is because it feels like an experience.
Yeah.
And like I said about The Dark Knight, I love movies with ticking time bombs. Dunkirk is another good movie with a ticking time bomb. 1917, legit a ticking time bomb. Tick Tick Boom is also a different type of ticking time bomb. Sorry, excuse me. But my favorite part about this movie is how they balance this huge cast of like A-list actors at the time, and then just kill them. Half the cast got dusted, and it's beautiful to watch, because it's comic accurate.
Yeah.
With the dusting, and the reason why I love this movie so much is it's not an Avengers movie. It's a Thanos movie.
True.
And I've been waiting for a villain to get a movie in the MCU, because villains have kind of been lacking in the MCU. I would say Thanos is the best, Loki's second, and then Killmonger is the third. That's saying a lot because I don't like Black Panther. Dude, okay, like I saw this movie I saw this movie opening day, but the next day watched it, and then it's like a week later watched it again, because this movie brings a lot of like different things that work so well together, like especially like when Team Iron Man, Spiderman, Doctor Strange meet up with like the Guardians. So good. Probably some of the best fight scenes in the MCU.
Yeah, honestly.
Probably some of the best fight scenes, especially the one on Titan. It's very quotable too. I am Groot. I Am Steve Rogers. It's very good. Oh, such a good movie.
Why is Gamora?
Why is Gamora? Yeah, dude, I feel like this movie is the perfect runtime too.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's just really good. Ashton, I know what your number one is. Why don't you bring it?
He peaked.
I peaked. I had no, because I wanted to make sure that his second was Logan.
Yeah.
Oh, is that Adam again?
Is that Adam?
Oh, Adam, come on in. Adam, come.
Can we scare him
You
off?
stop sneaking in. If you want to come on the pod, you can come on the
No, I
pod.
just want to look at you guys.
Oh
You
my
guys are
God.
so cool.
Is that Natasha and Christina?
You guys are so
You
cool.
want to come on the podcast? Okay. Wow, this is too cool for us. We're talking about comic book movies. Comic book movies. Like Spider-Man. Which one?
So much
Which
Spider-Man
Spider-Man?
today, guys.
Okay.
Okay, wait, come here and talk. If you're gonna come here,
Into the mic.
you gotta talk into the mic. I can't. The mic cannot hear you.
Spider-Man had the best story, but what's his name? Who plays Spider-Man?
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire. He's not the greatest actor. I'm gonna be honest with you.
It's okay to be wrong on the podcast.
He's awkward. And the second Spider-Man has the worst storyline. Like the movies themselves.
Sorry, okay, I'm cutting her off.
The movies themselves are so boring, and the characters, the villains in like the second series with Andrew Garfield are just like bad. But Andrew Garfield makes a fantastic Spider-Man. So you get one or the other with the first two Spider-Mans, but with the third Spider-Man with Tom Holland, you get both. And Tom Holland. Here's my thing.
Oh my gosh, Christina's coming in. Christina's coming in.
Oh wait, what's your favorite?
Oh yes,
book movie?
yeah, Sherman. What is your favorite comic book movie of all time?
Comic book movie.
Hey, welcome to the podcast.
Oh gosh. Probably Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good one. We talked about that a lot.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best ones now out there.
I've seen it 9 times.
No Way Home?
Yeah,
Really?
weird flex, I know.
Oh my word. Dude, it's still in the theaters.
I know. You want to go? I'll go with you. Let's go over here, Rin.
How much money have you spent at Cineplex?
Oh, like no, like I pay like maybe like 2-3 times.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's go. Come on. Chop.
Wait, Christina, quick.
Here's my take. Tobey Maguire is a good Peter Parker and a bad Spider-Man.
Agreed. Okay, we can agree on that.
That's pretty good.
I
Yeah.
wasn't jerking your eye.
Andrew Garfield is a bad Peter Parker because he's too cool, but a good Spider-Man.
Also agreed.
Also agreed.
Good take.
And Tom Holland does both really well.
Also agreed.
That is a good take.
That's a good take. Okay, thank you guys.
Back.
Thank you very much.
This podcast has gone off the rails.
Gone off the rails, dude.
Who else can we talk about? Oh, is that Sarah over there? Okay, bye. Okay, guys.
Wow.
Yeah, this has turned into a whole POVC podcast here.
Dude, I like it.
All right, Ashton, why don't you?
I'm looking at the waveform right now, and we definitely picked up a lot of the ambient noise.
Yeah, we gotta do some editing.
Yeah, bro. No, it's good.
Anyway, this is a fun podcast.
It is. Yeah.
Bring it
That
home.
was a lot
buddy.
of build up for my top pick for a favorite comic book movie of all time. It is Batman: Mask of the Phantasm.
So good.
So
So good.
here's the thing, bro. We talked about this. Batman is such a dynamic character.
Yes.
It's almost impossible for a single movie to capture all sides of him really well.
Mhm.
The only movie that's ever truly succeeded at that is this one.
Yeah.
So if you guys haven't seen this, wow, you were missing out. So it is in the style of Batman the Animated Series. It's kind of like part of that universe, but it really kind of breaks down Batman's origins. So not Bruce Wayne and his parents and all that, but it's highly influenced by that. You kind of see Batman just starting out, and you really see a lot more of an emotional side to Batman than you do. He's making mistakes,
Mhm.
but he's also learning from his mistakes. He's fallen in love
Which is a weird thing we don't really see in Batman.
Exactly.
Unless it's the Killing Joke, but we don't talk about the Killing Joke for obvious reasons.
Oh boy, that movie just it added like so much that didn't need to be added. Yeah. This movie does a really great job though, showing why Bruce Wayne had to be Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And it really Batman's doing this for his parents. He believes this is what they would want. And he feels this heavy conviction that he has to do something. And he doesn't want to do it. He wants to go off and live a normal life and be with this person he loves. But when all these circumstances come together, he just knows that's not who he is. That's not who he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And he becomes, Batman. He becomes who he's meant to be. It's an awesome story about, like, identity, I think, and it really ties together like the investigator side of Batman, but also a more timid, emotional side of him, but also a dark side of him, and yeah, it does a great job showcasing it. Of course, Kevin Conroy voices Batman in this. Mark Hamill is Joker. And
it's perfect.
It's perfect. They're like the perfect casting for these characters. Whenever I read a comic book, it's always in their voices.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can just put this movie on whenever. I used to have the VHS, and bro, I think I broke that thing. I went through that so many times. That movie lives in my head rent free now. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Favorite comic book movie of all time, 100% for sure.
Dude, this is a this is a roller coaster of an episode. You know what? We got here to school for Smash Wednesdays. We Smash Bros on Wednesdays, and we're like, let's just record an episode. And it turned out really fun.
Yeah, it did.
Towards the end there. Yeah,
for sure.
We're gonna have like official guests on the podcast.
Yeah,
like guys, for me, I love doing this. This is so much fun. Like, guys, if you're listening, dude, thank you so much.
Yeah,
like
y'all.
We obviously haven't had that many listeners, but for those who have, thank you so much.
Yeah. Totally.
We will be having some big episodes coming up very soon. Season 2, we're going to start having video podcasts. So on Spotify, it's just going to be audio. But on YouTube, it's going to be like visuals. You can see us. And we'll put some graphics up and stuff. And you can see us in our flannel.
Yeah. I guess I'll have to wear flannel every time we record now.
Yeah, you have to.
I'll just keep some in my car.
Emergency flannel?
Emergency flannel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, again, thank you guys so much for listening. And if there's anything you want us to talk about, let us know. Anything,
also,
yeah.
Yes, we have Instagram now. There's a Flannel Podcast on Instagram. If you follow us, we'll follow you back.
Yeah, for real.
Also, what else am I saying? Nerds and Flannel Podcast at gmail.com. Email us if you have any questions, requests, want to come to the pod. Sure, why not, right?
And if you're listening from India.
Yeah, if you're listening from India.
Just get a hold of us now.
Who's listening from India?
Oh, we want to know. We've been asking this for a while. It's such a big mystery to us.
We have like episodes coming out very soon. Oscar predictions and stuff.
Yeah.
We have to watch 2 movies before we actually finish.
I have to watch more than 2 movies, dude.
Well, actually, I'll just watch every Best Picture.
Yeah, that's the goal.
As much as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nightmare Alley's pretty good.
I'm hyped.
Yeah. Coda's really good. Movies are just really good.
That's facts.
Especially if that movie is Star Wars The Last Jedi.
Whoa, hey. And just like that, we are cutting off this episode.
Guys, until next time, thank you so much for watching. I'm Nat.
And I'm Ashton.
And we are the Nerds in Flannel.
Peace.